Hi, Matt Lachlan with Coeur d'Alene Real Producers. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you've already seen our short snippet of this conversation with Alex, Cody, and Zach. These guys are a dynamic group of team leaders, wonderful men in our community, and I'm looking forward to the chance for you to get to know them better on a more personal level and learn more about how they built their team and what makes them tick. Enjoy.
Tell me, when did you start your team together, and what was the core inspiration behind it, other than the pragmatics and the finances? It's just a good business move, but so tell me when it started and what inspired you in the beginning. What were you thinking?
It started May 26th is when we actually started. We were in the, they put us in like a little, almost the storage closet room at Keller Williams.
Yeah.
And kind of said, here's a space for you.
Yeah.
But like Cody said, it started kind of earlier in November, October, sort of having this desire, to build something bigger.
Yeah.
And create an atmosphere where people can thrive and really, reach their potential. So that's where it started. And then Alex, at least for me, kind of came into the scene a little bit later.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah.
It was interesting because in December of 2017 is when I went to school, real estate school, and it was actually a little bit separated from these guys at the beginning, and it was actually family member of mine. My uncle said, "Hey, we should really look into real estate." And at that time, I was at this really interesting point in my life because I was with a company called Ecolab, and I was kind of growing in the ranks of their sales force, and about to kind of take on a potential region and training surgical sales reps for Ecolab with a lot of their product line. And it was a really great job, really great opportunity, and phenomenal people to work with. However, I was on the road 2-3 weeks out of every month, and I had a 6-month-old at home. And it was one of those things where I just need to be able to create my own opportunity. I need to be able to get back home with my family because I knew I didn't want to be on the road and watching my boys grow up from afar. So that's when it was kind of early conversations. At first, I wasn't even going to be a part of it. And then once there were some divine intervention that happened where it wasn't going to work out with my uncle and I partnering. So we ended up all meeting together, and it was like, man, we can figure this thing out as a three-headed monster, if you will, and go at it. And like Zach said, I think the biggest thing was creating opportunity and being able to build a platform for people to really build a life that they want to build. And that's one of my biggest reasons for me getting into it with these guys, was because I could see that opportunity.
Yeah. Even context, Zach and I knew each other through leading at the church. Like, we were a young adult pastor leader type people. And even Alex and I, we grew a relationship through a Bible study back in middle school. Mm-hmm. And so there's always this core relationship with Jesus. And that's kind of even the core of Embrace, was like, okay, we served in ministry. The world of real estate is almost like what's second behind lawyers about, oh, they're slimy, whatever, like used car salesmen. So how do you bring ministry and Jesus into a world where they're looked down upon? And how do we change that norm, right? Because I think we all think that God wants to have a huge impact in the business world too. And so it was like this core belief of like, we want to do something bigger than just make money. We want to change people's lives. And that even created our mission statement, which is to champion people to pursue their dreams. It's not about making a paycheck real estate is just a vehicle. And we just happen to do real estate, and people get to go live these huge lives and live big dreams and pursue big things. And so that's kind of the context, is we got into it saying, real estate's a weird world, and it's all about the money, and we want to change that. Because we believe money is good for the good it can do. And so how do you go make that money go do awesome, good things in the world?
The vision behind it, you can kind of embrace the name even, is kind of that embrace the community. You know, if we
Yeah.
went to even other communities, it's hey, we want to make that place better, you know, than we weren't there. Or, you know, like Cody said, I mean, we're ambassadors of the city. I mean, that's kind of what we are. People move here and they see us first, you know. So, you know, we have a great team at this point, and we're building a great team that they're able to be that for people, and change their life too through it. So
Yeah, there's a real even the reputation of your team among other agents, just talking, there's a real spirit to it. People appreciate, they say it in different words, but this is my words, just reflecting to you, but it's they appreciate the spirit and the goodwill in your team. Like, and I'll frame a question around that.
Well, there's like negative and positive things that we hear, right? Sometimes we hear, oh, they're the frat team because we're wild and have energy.
You're young.
Yeah, we're young. But it's cool because we started as like a lot of millennials. It was us three and a guy named Jake Miles that all started together in the closet, right?
Yeah.
And we slowly understood, okay, we need to have organization. So let's hire someone to make sure our paperwork's good.
Yeah.
So we hired someone there, and almost 3 years now of like growing. And we've been this millennial crazy bunch that no one really believed in that could make stuff happen, because you have to be established and older to be good in real estate. And then we brought in older people like Zach's dad and Kurt and other people that they're more the boomer generation and millennials. So they're like this awesome mashup of millennials meets boomer meets like wisdom and energy. And it's been so cool.
It has been cool.
That's great.
Yeah, we have a
There's
good mix.
Great comments for you.
One of the things I appreciate most about working with Cody is the energy that he brings every day. It's unbelievable. You could be having a bad day. He walks in the room and it's like, no, just knock it off. We're gonna turn the ship around.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is he could be having a bad day and nobody knows about it. He's a constant light in the room, and he's one of those guys that anything's going on, he's got your back. So it's pretty cool to being able to have the privilege and honor to work with him every day.
That's awesome.
I appreciate Zach in a big way because I've seen his production, the way he can drive, where other people give up. He has this grit where he can just push past. I call it the dip, right? Where you dip down and you either decide to go to greener pastures or to push past the dip. And it's like you're 5 feet away from gold and people usually stop digging. And so Zach has been this person where every day, whether he feels good, bad, indifferent, he's had this driving like motivation to do this huge, amazing work here on earth. And there's not a day that's like, I think today I'm not going to do that. Every day is like, drive and drive. Don't slow down, go. And so it's motivating because even days where I'm like, okay, let's have a chill day. It's like, nope, no chill days. Let's keep going. So it's like, there's weaknesses and strengths with all of us.
Sure.
But that is crucial. Like if you have someone doing that, I mean, the sky's the limit, right? You have no place to land your plane and say, okay, we finally arrived.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's not even just, it's really taken over the world. It's like, why would you stop? It's not about the money, it's about creating bigger lives.
Yeah.
So he exemplifies that quite a bit.
That's awesome.
What I appreciate the most about having Alex or working with Alex is just the character and just balance. It puts family first. And you have a big drive, but you're very stabilizing for us. So he's very kind of the stable force, behind everything we do. Kind of the glue, is what he always kind of calls himself.
We call him that.
But just the example he sets, wanting to put his kids first, his family first, and the type of person that he is with his family. And then the real estate side, just the amount of time he spends preparing and training, and he's really like the kind of the guy that slows us down a little bit in a good way. That, like Cody said, sometimes we can kind of we gotta do the big things, like dream and everything. And Alex is kind of we gotta make sure this happens, or
progress, not perfection.
How are we gonna do that,
Yeah.
So he makes us a lot. Yeah, he makes us a lot better.
Reality, man.
And well-rounded. So
That's great. Yeah.
What I find most gratifying about my work is there's not a day that I don't come in. I look forward to every day, every morning coming in and seeing the faces that we have on our team, getting the opportunity to work with these guys. From where I've come in the past, it's like, man, when Monday or Sunday night comes around, you're like, man, I got to go to work on Monday. And the energy and the culture that we have, I've never had that feeling once or it's like, man, I'm chomping at the bit to get to work. And that's just a different feeling. And it really is life-changing. And that's not an understatement, because when you can get to that place where no matter what obstacles are gonna come at you this week, you know that you have a team and a family to go through those obstacles with you, and they're gonna help you get through them. So that's been really kind of life-changing for me, is like Sunday night, I don't get that wrench in my gut, or that feeling that you get, man, I don't want to go to work this week. It's like, no, I'm really excited.
I'm looking at it in both ways. I think gratification for me in real estate looks like I get to serve and help people, and real estate happens to be the vehicle to get people there. And it's a huge purchase, probably the biggest one people will ever make. And so I get to be part of that. So it's huge in the relationship to Jesus and people. And there's been times where we do a transaction, someone's like, what church do you go to? And I never told them I was a Christian. And so that was like, oh, okay, I'm doing the Jesus stuff, right? I'm a doer. And then even embrace gratification, same thing. We show up and we get to show people John 10:10, life and life to the full. Like, how do you go have this life to the full that people have talked about? And how do you let money do it? Because in the church world, money is a very weird topic to talk about. And I want to blow the door open and say, no, go make as much money as you want, because you want to, the thing I said earlier, right? Money is good for the good it can do. So every day I wake up like, how do I go help other people see the same thing that we've done in a huge way, where you can go make lots of money and help lots of people. And so that's the thing for me. It's all about serving people, having huge lives, and hopefully that means they can buy big things too. Like, if they want to buy a boat, a huge house, I want their lives to increase because we were a part of it.
Oh man, I mean, that to me, that's almost everything. I mean, I'm a very purpose and very calling oriented person, very driven by what I feel like God's called me to do. And so I want that for other people as well, and I like seeing that, in other people. I'm very opportunity driven. So like, I want other people to have, that just is probably what wakes me up the most in the morning. So I even have like a picture frame on our wall that has everybody's like a dream that they're going to do this year, like whether it's pay off debt or go to Disneyland.
Everybody on your team.
And so like really, providing them that platform to have an opportunity. So I love seeing that in people, and I love pushing myself to whatever the limit
So
is.
you keep their dreams at the forefront of your mind to
We
motivate you to serve them in that.
Yep. We all do that. But that's definitely one of the big things. Yeah, is I think that's what motivates me the most, is watching other people come from something and change their life and have this opportunity. and then it's different now. So that's very purpose driven when it comes to, listening to what my dream is, and helping others reach that too.
What's been the biggest challenge with such rapid, successful growth for you? What has that brought up for you?
Well, that's a good question. Big part of me really likes challenges, so it's kind of fun, but it's not at the same time. Biggest challenge has been adapting from your own personal mission or goals, and your own personal, when you're in real estate just on your own, it's awesome, but you're only accountable to yourself at that point, and at the end of the day, you're just dealing with yourself. So adapting from that to now, you're also, you're responsible, and you're helping 16 other people or 15 other people, and just the day in and day out challenges that brings is both really rewarding for us, but also brings challenges, just being, I guess, growing into more leadership mindset instead of just only production based. Is a big challenge, or was a big challenge, or it's a
Continuous challenge. There's probably new caps to.
Yeah, especially if you're more, driven, you're just, I can go do it, I can go knock it out.
Yeah.
You really have to just have trust in other people and know it and empower them to do that.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Where's been one of your edges of growth with all the growth of your team?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I think the biggest challenge and the biggest reward is people.
Yeah.
Because people, we're all jacked up. We're all messy inside, right? And you're bringing a group of people together that all have their own mess and own challenges, and we have to figure out how to go in one direction, right? And so biggest challenge is the mindsets that come in, good, bad, and indifferent, and getting them cohesive together and individual to go hit their own goals and go make the money they need to make. So it's been the biggest challenge of how do I grow myself spiritually, physically, financially, through our business, all that, so that other people can grow to that too. Because I think we grow to the speed of the leaders that we have. And so it's been the biggest challenge, yet most rewarding, is that when we grow, then it opens up the door for other people to grow too. Like even Zach, he just hired a business coach, and I'm looking at that growth and I'm like, that's inspiring. It pushes me to grow. And I know that other people, the agents, the ops, they all see that too. And so if we're not growing, then they probably won't be growing either. So that's one of the biggest lessons too, is that I need to be growing constantly. If I'm not growing, I'm probably dying. So growth, pushing myself to, and even pushing each other, holding each other accountable to, hey, you got more in the tank, you can give more, you can do more. So for me, it's people. It's probably the best investment you can ever make is people, and yet it's the hardest.
Yeah, so the biggest growth opportunity for me, like moving forward with Embrace and seeing like where we've come from, is getting the understanding that, and this is good. It can kind of sound like a negative, but we're not going to probably be comfortable for a little while. We haven't been comfortable really since we started, because we have drivers in the room. We have dreams. We have people that expect nothing but the best, especially within the three of us. I think we're kind of a good combination of all of those things. And the opportunity for growth going forward is just that I think we're going to continue to challenge each other and challenge the people in the room that we have, our agents, to be their best and to champion them to pursue their dreams. Because we know if we're doing that, we're living into our mission. And if we're living into our mission, ultimately the end goal of whatever this is going to end up being, I don't think we like to put limits on necessarily what that looks like. We'll get there. We will get there at some point. So the biggest opportunity for growth, kind of in a recap for us, is just that we're going to continue that growth mindset. We're not going to stop. And we're going to, like Cody was saying, we're not going to put a lid on our people and kind of the opportunities that they have to go hit their dreams. So I think keeping that in the forefront and keeping that in our minds at all times allows us to continue growing and not just settling for average or normal.
What's on the horizon for Embrace Real Estate? What are you inspired by?
Absolutely. So I can talk a little bit about where we've come from and where we're going. In our first year, it was only about 5-6 months that we were actually up and rolling. We did 36 units. Our second year, in 2019, we did 111 units. And in this past year, 2020, we exceeded our goal of 147 and hit 159 units sold. And in 2021, our big, huge, outrageous goal is 249 units. And so, we feel like we have the people in the room right now in this moment to go out and hit those goals. And we're really excited to see what 2021 has in store for us.
What's on the horizon? I mean, a lot of things, obviously, practically, growth-wise, we are, wanting to go into other locations. So like in 2021, we're really focused on Spokane. And, the goal would be to have another team there in Spokane, similar to what we have now. And also duplicate that in, 5 other locations in the next 5 years. So that's kind of the goal. So, it could be, like a Tri-Cities, Seattle, whatever, wherever that opportunity is. But that's our goal right now. So we're we're building towards that. Since we haven't arrived here, but we've got a solid team, and we have a lot of things in place, and so that is practical, and then the opportunity that will bring for other people on our team now to have more leadership roles, to have bigger lives, to actually make more impact. So practically, that's what's on the horizon, and that's a big focus right now.
Well, one of the interesting things too, it's like you have this craft company, like let's say coffee. Right? You have this craft company that does a really good job with coffee, and they want a franchise like a Starbucks, and then I don't like Starbucks coffee that much, but it gets worse and worse. And so our thing is like, how do we create culture so strong where when we go to a Spokane, when we expand, it's not like, oh, we're the McDonald's of real estate now. It's like, how do we keep culture so strong and our quality so good and do it at a high rate? So right in the middle, like figuring that out. And I don't know, maybe it does go down, I'm not sure. But that's where we're at. It's like, all right, let's go and let's do it.
Yeah. It seems to me co-leading a team as 3 owners demands that you grow as leaders. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you've learned about navigating a ship. You're each 1/3 in charge of this thing. What does that help you learn and understand about leadership?
Well, I mean, one of the coolest things is just right off the bat, the normal team structure would be, like one team leader. And that is just, it is what it is. It's not a bad thing but having 3 people, it, like you said, it does force, like more combined, you're really combining your strengths and weaknesses, and you're staying accountable to what is most important.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not, hey, I'm going to grow my team and I'm going to go chill, and kind of see what happens. It's more, it is this accountable, it's kind of this accountability where it's like, we need to grow this bigger than we just need to keep going.
Yeah.
But the coolest part is, the coolest and most frustrating part is, we all have way different personalities.
Yeah.
And so it's trying to kind of combine all those and make our team that, and understand everybody's differences,
Yeah.
I would say the biggest thing, though, that's just like a huge benefit of a partnership like ours is that we get to leverage the good things about each other. Because there are some things like, just being honest, Cody can get people in a group on their feet in like 2 seconds. It might take me a couple minutes.
So
You're like, all right, we'll send Cody in the first part. And then Zach,
I'm the
you
hype
cover the
man.
numbers and this thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, and it's crazy as it
Smart.
sounds, we've structured things that way in our day-to-day, even our huddles, I start the day out with scripting where it's a little bit more low energy and necessary.
Yeah.
Real life scenarios, how we get over obstacles with buyers or sellers, how can we help people, and then we bring in Cody, a little raw, we break on the number that we've closed in the year, and then we get to our lead generation. So we kind of rise that energy up, and we're all leveraging each other, and it's really cool.
We have a good, I think that was earlier what I was referring to with a team leader. One team leader, we have this really balanced push-pull where we have this driving force, and then we have sort of this, relationships and people first, and not that one of us are not, we're all people first, but it's not just one person's just really ambitious and other people get left behind, or it's not, we're just all relational and nothing ever gets done. It's kind of this balance of this kind of good cohesive uncomfortableness.
We were talking about Simon Sinek's book, The Infinite Game, and the quote was, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Quote,
And so it's like, we were so strategic, even picking each other. There's other people that we could have aligned with business too.
Oh, sure.
That maybe were more like me, but we just be messy and never organized.
Yeah.
But aligning with these people, with Zach and Alex, like Zach and I were already there. I told Zach, I said, Alex is going to get us like the foundation of who we are. And so it's like, how do we bring him on?
Yeah.
Right. So it was strategic.
Yeah.
We'll go a lot farther, I think, together.